Airbnb security deposits, guest damage, and your Airbnb. As an Airbnb host, you are in the hospitality business and providing a great experience to your guests. But what do you do when a guest damages your property? Knowing where to turn or how best to handle such situations can be difficult. Fortunately, there are steps that hosts can take, including documenting damage, contacting Airbnb for assistance with filing claims, and following up on those claims, to ensure their security deposits cover any costs associated with repairs. Remember, it's your business, and you're still in it. As an Airbnb host, you are the one in control of your business. Regardless of what happens with damage claims or any other issue, it's important to remember that you're still in charge and need to take steps to get your business back up and running as soon as possible. Key takeaway: when a guest damages your property, it's essential to document the damage, contact Airbnb and file a claim with supporting evidence. Document the damage. The first step in documenting the damage is to take pictures of it. Next, make sure you write down an accurate description of what happened and when it happened. Include details such as how long ago it occurred, who was responsible, if known, and what repair or replacement may be necessary to fix it properly. If there are witnesses who saw or heard something related to the incident, make sure you get their contact information too. Once you have done that, it's time to contact Airbnb about the incident. As soon as you discover any property damage, contact Airbnb immediately. Provide them with all the relevant information, including photos and a detailed description of what happened. You must provide accurate information about the incident so they can make an informed decision on how to handle it. Make sure to include details such as when the damage occurred, who was responsible for it, if known, and what damage has been done, for example, broken furniture or scratched walls. Contact any other parties involved to get their story before submitting your claim with Airbnb. Finally, be sure to keep track of all communications with Airbnb throughout this process, from initial contact through resolution. By taking screenshots or saving emails sent back and forth between both parties involved is essential to have a record should something go wrong. Now let's look at how to file a claim with Airbnb. File a claim. Filing a claim with Airbnb is essential in covering the cost of repairs or replacement of damaged items. When filing a claim, it's necessary to include an itemized list of costs associated with repairing or replacing the damaged items. In addition to providing this information, you may also need proof that your guest, not pre-existing conditions, caused the damage. When submitting a claim for reimbursement for damages, be sure to provide all relevant details about what happened, including when it occurred and how much money you are requesting in compensation for repairs or replacements. Finally, ensure you receive confirmation within 24 hours informing you if your claim has been accepted or denied, along with instructions on how long it will take for payment processing if approved. Follow up. Following up with Airbnb after filing a claim is essential in getting your money back. Start by documenting all communication between yourself and Airbnb regarding the damage or incident. Next, contact Airbnb directly to follow up on the status of your claim. You should reach out via email or phone call if possible. However, if you have already submitted all necessary documents online, there may be no need to do so again in person or over the phone. It's also important to ask what kind of documentation they require for making damage claims and how long it typically takes them to process these cases before receiving payment, if applicable. Once you have followed up, it's essential to understand how Airbnb security deposits work to ensure that any damages are taken care of. How do Airbnb security deposits work? The security deposit amount depends on the stay's total cost and can range from $100 to $5,000. When setting up a security deposit, it's important to remember that this money will be used only if damage or excessive cleaning is required after a guest leaves. Should I charge a security deposit on Airbnb? When running a successful Airbnb business, one of the most important decisions you can make is whether or not to charge a security deposit. A better option is to use damage fee waivers instead. Damage fee waivers are an agreement between the host and guest that states that if any damage occurs during their stay, the guest will pay for repairs up to a certain amount, usually $500. The main benefit of using damage fee waivers over traditional security deposits is that they provide more flexibility regarding how much money you're willing to risk on potential damages caused by your guests. Another advantage of using damage fee waivers is that they are often easier and faster for both parties involved, since there is no need to process refunds after checkout as there would be with traditional security deposits. What kind of documentation is required to make damage claims? Documenting damage before guests arrive. Documenting damage after guests leave. Keeping records of damages and repairs. Finally, it is essential to communicate promptly with Airbnb regarding any issues related to guest-caused damages at your rental property. FAQs about what to do when a guest damages your property. What happens if a guest damages the property? If a guest damages property on Airbnb, the host may file a claim with Airbnb for reimbursement. Are Airbnb guests liable for the damage? Yes, Airbnb guests are liable for any damage they cause to the property during their stay. This includes both accidental and intentional damage. Can Airbnb hosts sue guests for damages? Yes, Airbnb hosts can sue guests for damages. Hosts have the right to pursue legal action against a guest if they cause damage to their property or violate any of the terms and conditions outlined in their rental agreement. Can Airbnb force me to pay for damages? No, Airbnb does not force you to pay for damages. However, they have a host guarantee that protects up to $1 million in the event of property damage caused by guests. Conclusion. It's important to remember that when a guest damages your property, it is still your business, and you are in control. Document the damage thoroughly, contact Airbnb immediately, file a claim with all necessary documentation, and follow up until the issue is resolved.